Hello again. Next up, we'll be playing the Stay Alert side mission. As usual, let's check the reinforcement letter, 10,000 men, yay, and preview the stage. We will, like last stage, be able to bring 10 brigades. No freebie cavalry though. However, this number is misleading. While it's true we will field 10 brigades, we will only get to start with 6. The other 4 will arrive as a reinforcement later in the map. In addition to being a pain in general, the first few times I did this map I kept saying to myself, man, I wish I could just bring one more brigade to start with. It's also the case that you only get to choose your first 6 brigades. The 4 that come in later are randomly chosen from your remaining set, which is why I'm going to hold my brigade count to 10 this map so that I know exactly what my reinforcements will be. I'm going to drop my career point into Army Organization. The larger brigade size won't do me any good this map, but I need it in preparation to enlarge my army for the Grand Battle Shiloh next round. Also, the enemy will be using a lot of cavalry this map. When the AI decides how big to make the enemy's brigade sizes, it checks 3 factors: how many troops they have, how big your army is overall, and how big the average brigade size is for the unit type in question. By having no cavalry at all, the value for that last part of the equation will be 0, so the enemy's cavalry, at least for this stage, will be as small as I can reliably make them, which is useful. So let's recharge our own army. First, the cannons. You may have noticed me do this last video, but I didn't explain it and clicked so fast it's easily missable. When a cannon battery takes damage in a battle, so long as they lose 24 or fewer men, you don't lose any cannons. However, the men are still lost. They must be refilled at the army screen to get that 25-man buffer back. You do this by clicking the Add Men button here. Notice that I'm adding men back into the battery, but no new cannons. Give the second battery its tier 1 perk, and now I'll up the first battery to 14 guns. This is the one I will be bringing in as part of my first 6 brigades this stage. I won't be adding extra guns to the second battery in an attempt to slightly shrink the enemy battery sizes. Also, 14 guns is, from the link provided back in the first video, the maximum number of cannons you can have in a battery before each additional cannon actually reduces the battery's damage. So for now, that's as high as I go. When I do the major army rework to 20 brigades for Shiloh, one of the things I'll go into more strategic depth on is when overshooting the optimum brigade size can be useful. Next, I'll replace the one guy in Hexamer snipers who I lost last stage. Poor Steve, we barely knew ye. Also, I'll choose his T1 perk. Unlike the broken artillery ammo bonus perk, the skirmisher exclusive perk works, and it's a reasonable choice, though personally I find it to be more useful for the light infantry style of skirmisher rather than the sniper variety. I want each shot Hexamer takes to do as much as possible, not for him to fire faster, so that 10% accuracy hit isn't what I'm looking for. I'm going to select a new officer to fill in for the leaderless brigade while my colonel recovers. Much like the 2 long-range infantry brigades, I will rename the brigade using the Mississippis for this fight, so that I can keep track of them on the battlefield easier and up them to 1,500 men. I'll refill both long-range infantry brigades to 1,000 men.
Yes, sir.
I'll take 2 of my Springfield-equipped brigades, the 2 with the most tenured commanding officers, and raise them to 1,500 men each. I'll bring the other 2 infantry brigades up to 1,000 men, and pick a random perk for the one that leveled up. And, since there are no generals or colonels in the barracks right now, I'll take this chance to create a couple out of the ether by making a second corps. The 3 tier 1 perks for the corps leading general are all useful: a bonus to ammunition, a bonus to speed, or a bonus to experience gain. However, since he has no army, and I won't be fielding a second corps for a few stages yet, I'll hold off on selecting a corps command perk for him. Our supply wagon is still sufficient for our army's needs, so let's save and head to the fight. General Johnston established his base at Corinth, Mississippi in order to reorganize our western forces. We soon expect Yankee offensives into Tennessee, and we must be ready. Corinth is a major railroad junction and a strategic supply position. You've been assigned to guard one of our supply line's vital points northwest of Corinth. Stay alert and prevent any Yankee raid into the area. Our army has established a base at Corinth, Mississippi, a major railroad junction and a strategic position for the transportation of troops and supplies. Your post is at the northeast of Corinth, at this vital point of our supply line. Our pickets have spotted Yankee cavalry movements a couple miles at north and west of your position. We have to prepare for a potential attack. Reinforcements have already been dispatched from Corinth and are on their way to assist you if needed. Stay alert, General. We cannot afford a broken link in our supply chain. So after the assault on the supply's last stage, this time we get to withstand the attack. The enemy will be bringing in a half-dozen infantry brigades from these directions, as well as 4 cavalry brigades. 3 will be around here, and the 4th will start here. It may or may not decide to join its friends south. There will also be 3 cannon batteries, each around 9 guns, here, and a small assortment of skirmishers approaching this way. Neither the northern push nor the southern sweep are a big problem. They are, however, a big problem when put together, especially since you only start with 6 brigades. I'm going to use a non-standard approach to this map in this video, but take note. It's a finicky strategy. So, let me first describe the conservative method. Take 6 infantry brigades, deploy them to these positions, and split a couple skirmishers off to cover the gaps. After that, just hold your ground and wait for your backup to arrive. This is the conservative approach because with no cannons and you being outnumbered north, your northwestern brigades will take some pretty significant fire that you are just going to have to weather for a while. So if you find yourself having trouble duplicating this video, don't fret. Just use this method to clear the stage, and make sure it's your least tenured brigades that take the brunt of the damage. Full disclosure, I had 5 failed attempts to get this right before the one you will see here. Single misclicks can be a chicken nugget. So what is my strategy? I will deploy my forces thusly. The 2 northern infantry brigades are the Springfield-equipped ones I enlarged to 1,500 men so that they have extra staying power. The 2 on the bottom are the 1,500-man mid-range and one of the 1,000-man sniper brigades. My 14-cannon battery will take up a spot here, as close as I feel safe getting to the northern brigade while minimizing collateral damage, and Hexamer's snipers will be in position here. Also, the northern brigade will split off a skirmisher team to stand in this gap so that the enemy skirmishers can't run in behind my guys and shoot them in the derriere. The key, and probably what determines if you will win or lose, is how much damage you can do to the 4 260-ish man cavalry brigades in the first couple minutes. The sniper infantry simply cannot hold this position. After 2 or at most 3 volleys, they will need to sprint north and take up position in the woods here, otherwise the northern farm defenders are going to get surrounded. So we need to get the horses to charge into our gun range really fast. And that's what Hexamer is for. Right as the southern group is getting into position, Hexamer will run between them, find a cavalry group around here, and start getting chased, taking a shot back in the process. This should get them to follow at least into the range of the sniper infantry, and if really lucky, either the mid-range or western group as well, as Hexamer runs like he just saw a squirrel. After which, he turns around and tries to do it a second time. As this is happening, the western group will make its existence known, either by firing at the 1st Cavalry Squad, or by just being in the forest's south edge, to try and convince the 4th Cavalry Group not to join the other 3. No promises that it works out that way, but it makes life a lot easier for those guys left down there. After those first 90 seconds of pulse-pounding action, we need to pull the long-ranged infantry at a full sprint up to the north end of the map, and split the mid-range infantry, having the bulk take up the vacated spot, and a detachment continue to hold the farm. Hexamer will stay to provide support fire until the cavalry are handled. As for the north, there's not a lot to say. It's going to, hopefully, be a static fight. They shoot at me from the open field, I fire back from the housing, Our cannons should hopefully do more than theirs, due to the aforementioned housing, as well as how close mine are comparatively, and they just hold until more units can be brought in to support. It's a grind fest, is what I'm saying. When the reinforcements arrive, the cannon will join the main force in the map's center, while most of the infantry will sweep along the south map edge for any lingering cavalry, and then eventually surround whatever is left at the southern part of their forces. Wow, that brigade got hosed. One cavalry down. But the other one seems to see the objective and gets some high-grade tunnel vision. The good news is, the point is not immediately captured. They take the vision point and briefly claim the supply cache, but the actual objective marker would require them to sit here and defend it, which they have little hope of accomplishing, so they decide to go right on by. I can't leave them there though, and Hexamer might have trouble by himself, so I'll send him and the mid-range skirmish team to pursue. The main mid-range team will return to their position. That's the second cavalry squad down. I'll send the mid-range skirmish team back south. Hexamer I'll have chill here to assist the long-range infantry. I actually miscount here. I thought I had taken out 3 of the cavalry, so I start sliding the mid-range infantry to support the west flank. One of the horses decided to remind me of why I wasn't doing that, but said horses were already somewhat damaged and easily chased off again by a few stray bullets. And the couple volleys the mid-range guys took before needing to turn around chased off one of the enemy infantry, even if only temporarily, so it all worked out. You know, I was wondering what I was going to do about that largest remaining cavalry brigade. They answered that for me by charging a force 7 times their size, in defensive terrain no less. 3 cavalry down. You know what would be nice? If my reinforcements arrived and caused the heavily depleted final enemy cavalry to panic and charge the farm-defending skirmish team. Wow, it's almost like I knew that was going to happen. I love writing these video scripts after having finished recording the game footage. It makes me seem so prescient. With the last horse down, I no longer have to worry about losing the objective from them moving 2 spaces over and 1 space up, so I'll tell this skirmish squad to rejoin their main formation. With the cavalry down, and the enemy infantry having lost significant forces to attrition, this map has gone from will I win to how much will I win by. The only real concern now is not to lose a chunk of forces, or a random officer, to unnecessary damage. So I'll continue to largely just skirmish the enemy infantry from my defensive positions, while the reinforcements go swinging around the map. Their goal is to get in the small forest behind the enemy position and wreak havoc on the one thing that I'm still concerned by, the enemy cannons. By removing the exposed cannons, there's basically nothing left that will be able to hurt us, short of terrible RNG. You know what type of training I think this massed group of rookie infantry with the close-range weapons facing off against a panicked enemy could use? I'll give you 3 guesses, and the first 2 don't count. The enemy is routed. The only remaining force is trapped on the other side of the ford. I feel kinda sorry for them. It's a shame they have nowhere to retreat to, what with that thin yellow line blocking their army's movements. Regardless, I'll line my forces up on this side of the river, bring the cannons over, and let them and Hexamer train their marksmanship on this squad for a while, outside of range of return fire. The stage has a hard end when the clock reaches 12:30, so drawing this stage out for a bit will allow the 3 mentioned brigades to train their skill, my entire army gaining in morale skill, my officers getting some experience, and heck, let's have the forces not guarding the river do some laps for stamina boosting. And I may as well accelerate time too, not much left to see here. Are they trying to get a return shot at Hexamer? That's brave of them. I mean, it's not going to work, but still. And the stage is, while not a 15-to-1 casualty rate like last stage, this was still pretty good once the main difficulty was removed by me dehorsing the Union. Jackson took it the worst, but it was worth it. And Hexamer dropped some information on the Union this stage. Post in the comments if you get that joke and aren't an American at least 30 years old. Also, again, no cannons lost, so all in all, a good fight for us. Both majors got a well-deserved promotion, and Fry is a general now too. Next stage will be the Grand Battle at Shiloh, as well as me enlarging my army to 20 brigades, which will be large enough for me to do the next, and probably final, big strategic dissertation on how I arrange my army. Till then.